Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Test, test.
Appreciate it, yeah. I was gonna say she was the only one in the family who listens to me.
Oh, she's definitely.
Somehow I don't do this.
I have her on leash.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the healthiest, like, mushrooms in my brain. Yeah. Sushi and plantain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I take like a capsule every single day of like the best mushrooms for your brain. Yeah. And it's got the 5 like most powerful ones. It's just really good for like brain power, energy, clarity, optimism.
Hello, how are you? Great. I'm doing weekend 1 or 2 of those. This is a funny question. Do you happen to know why Brian wants to talk with me? Brian Chambers?
Oh, you're probably in big trouble.
Doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me. You're usually in trouble.
That is true. It's been a bonkers, crazy week. I don't know if you heard the news here, but Jose in my office is no longer.
You told me that a while back.
Yeah, but now the shoe dropped. He took 11 lawyers and started some farm. So now that's fine. But now that means taking over all those activities. So I'm nationwide just I'm not upset about it. It's fine.
Nice. Congratulations.
Well, it's a field promotion, but I'll take it.
Right? Are you guys like at war with them now?
No. They're going to be fine. I'm not. There's no reason to fight them.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of guys here also. We're both not here, so we actually have more business here. Yeah. So it's just about hiring people to back up. Imagine you do the same thing right now. I talked to Red Alex for But she was part of the crew, right? No. Yeah. Different animal. Okay. Right, so I literally talked to the director on the phone. Okay. Say no more.
Yeah. I mean, I wish her all the best.
I understand, but no, I appreciate that. Okay. Okay. Got it. That's done. Okay, thank you. Yeah, she sent to me, I said I'll talk to you, it's fine. I sent her a couple of resources recently. Yeah. Of course. Okay. I get it. That means it's on that. Of course. Mark.
Founding mentor. Oh my goodness, yeah, you're about to do the CTO. Everyone's ready for
Hello,
that.
Mark Baker.
Hi, Chris. Nice to meet
What's
you.
your pleasure?
How's it going?
So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm here a little early today. I finished that fine for a bit.
Awesome.
I found this on the chair outside. She's one of the clients of the mission.
Okay.
And company from mine, I'm connected with, so I'm going to get to her. So
Perfect.
she's on the course in there. But yeah, how do you feel? What's your role here?
Yeah, so both of us are on the corporate partnerships team.
Good morning.
Yes, you know Marianne,
Course.
obviously. Yeah.
I've been with
great.
Marianne.
Yeah. Mary
Yeah.
Lynn.
Mary, excuse me. Everybody does know that.
Everyone does know Marianne. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had
The M name.
very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, the tour was actually, they were just up on the 8th floor, so we're probably wrapping up and
Oh,
down.
you're not going to, she's not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah. So your predecessor
Oh.
just talking about
Oh, how's he doing?
quite well.
That's great.
Doing the global solar spin-off. And you know, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Very good. Who you guys before?
Well, so I was in the EMB team actually with Marianne for a year before transitioning to Mary's team, and then I was a lawyer working at Goodwin and then for Sare doing private equity M&A.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you want to go back to that over there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Now that Josh is out of ears,
Of
no.
course. No, we're hiring. That's why.
Yeah, well, Trent, you know Trent. Trent Lynn?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. He told me to get in touch with you, and but we had to reschedule, I think, twice. One time you were in the car, and then one time I was on.
It was my fault. It's your fault.
Yeah, it was the first time you, second time me, but it was really just to kind of pick your brain and set hard and Austin, and then well, I'm in Asheville right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on each other's
We'll
side.
reach out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you give it over.
No, I don't know. I was on an email. Sorry. You were not right. No, actually, this is yours. Yes, and you need a lot. Yeah. You're sitting on a chair outside. Yeah. There's a lot of money. I didn't take any of it. I saw it on a chair outside. I saw it and I knew it was yours. There's no question about that. Not the guy. that. Not that one. No, I opened it up, I closed it, and then I was thinking I would see it. I know when that comes to talk later. Of course. You know,
That's so funny. Yeah.
it's not money right now. My budget.
Hey, man. Of course.
That's fun. Oh, and her Wednesday night Saturday. I don't run in with chicks. So. Oh, look at you. You in the wedding? Or you just weekend?
You already have like most of them.
Yeah, I did. Good.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, some pictures.
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, how are you? I did a wedding in Monterey.
That should make it a little bit harder.
Is it a long conversation?
It can be we're long enough.
You were right there. I just happened to notice. I talked to him recently. No. Talk to them, nice people. They will certainly anchor around sponsorship for my I'm not that one.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, congratulations. How are you? Nice to meet you. I'm so excited to see you today. Again, but it's very meaningful when it happens on that stage during this day. It's always very meaningful. Although the last time you did it, 2 years ago, that's also perhaps it was just meaningful. Oh my gosh. I guess that, yeah, I forget, like, that's, you guys haven't been down there? have no idea. Yeah,
Good afternoon, everyone. Please go ahead and take a seat. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Capital Factory. I'm Brian Chambers. I'm our president, one of our co-founders here at Capital Factory. And I spend the majority of my time helping to manage our venture team, running across the state, meeting with our founders, meeting with our mentors, meeting with investors, and helping to build community across the state. I actually spent my morning in Dallas this morning. I'm here with y'all in Austin this afternoon, and I'll be spending my evening in Houston tonight. Not every day is that intense, but it's what we have to do to build community across the state and help unlock a lot of the connections for our founders. But really, I'm just one of more than 20 people on our venture team that are waking up and working around the clock to help our portfolio succeed. And really, over the years, we built an incredible team that helps not just early stage startups, but even later stage startups now scale through with money, customers, and talent. I call these the three universal truths of every single startup. Startups wake up and they always have these tough challenges on their mind: money, customers, and talent. I call them the three universal truths of every startup, but there's also a silent fourth. That silent fourth is just something that you, frequently founders, don't always anticipate. A problem comes up and you don't know how to solve it. Fortunately, I think we have one of the very best mentor networks in the whole country. A network of founders, a network of mentors who have been founders, they've raised money, they've sold their businesses, they have superpowers, and they lend those superpowers to our portfolio. Andrea Tomas is a founder that joined us in 2018 after starting her company, Diligent Robotics. Diligent Robotics makes Moxie, that's actually the name of the robot, and this robot, it navigates hospitals, and it takes care of a lot of the activities in hospitals that nurses and healthcare staff don't really want to spend their time doing. So it learns its way around hospitals, and it learns to go check on patients, and it sees whether or not water or catheters or a Kleenex box is out of stock, and it knows how to go grab that from the stock room and replace it. And so it really helps simplify some of the operations in healthcare facilities. And so when she joined, we helped Diligent meet some of their very first investors. Actually happened to be out of Dallas, and we helped them make a couple of connections and break into some of their very first and earliest customers. I think UT Southwestern was one of those, also out of Dallas. Along the way, we helped them meet more investors. We continue to meet with Andrea and her team. Earlier this year, we ended up investing in their seed round. Earlier this year, they ended up raising a Series B round from Tiger Global, which was a really nice win for them. Firehawk builds badass rocket engines, and they also 3D print rocket fuel. We met Will Edwards, the founder and CEO of Firehawk, when he was thinking about relocating from the DC and Florida area, that's where their company was, to Dallas, Texas. And so we helped them relocate. They joined Capital Factory, and we've helped them a lot along the way. One of these, this is actually Will here in this picture, And you can see he's holding, that's 3D printed rocket fuel right there in the background. You can see, you can see Stormy. Also, you can see Sir Richard Branson there. And I mean, how tough is it to get a meeting like that? These are the types of opportunities that happen here at Capital Factory. We also did end up investing in Firehawk as well. We wrapped up a pretty incredible event just last week called Fed Supernova. We had over 1,300 attendees across our 3-day event, focused on the federal government and defense sector and what we call dual-use defense. We had over 50 mentors and investors participate in what we call Epic Office Hours, which is lots of rapid-fire, highly curated connections, and it was a really successful day. We also ended up completing what we call an investment challenge, where an investment challenge is an initiative, an internal initiative, where we intentionally align and earmark some of our funds for investing in particular focus areas, and dual-use defense is one of those focus areas. So we had completed 5 new investments, and I'm glad to share with you that these are the investments we recently completed. Clear Force, Firehawk being one of those. They build those rocket engines. Hidden Layer, Mesodyne, and Traxel. Startups from all across the state came, and we announced and welcomed them as new portfolio companies under the dual-use defense initiative that we have. Which brings us to about 55 investments year to date. So we've been busy. Capital Factory is the most active early stage investor in the state of Texas. We're not quite done with the year. I think we'll probably continue to make a dozen or so more investments through the year end. So it's been a really busy year for us. A couple of events coming up that I think all of y'all should know about. The next big one is called Austin Startup Week. That's happening November 14th through 18th, and actually that Monday, the 14th, is also one of the very best events we hold is our Women in Tech Summit, and that will take place right here in this room. And we celebrate a lot of we bring a lot of inspirational speakers up. We hold workshops. There's lots of great pitches. We also earmark funds to invest in women, and we'll be having a showcase on that day as well. And we've got Unreal coming up. We haven't quite released registration for this, but it's coming. Please mark your calendars. Our Venture Summit, also one of our highest energy, coolest events, where some of the biggest ideas, the most exciting speakers take the stage, and we have a really, really fun day. We make a ton of connections. It's a pretty high impact day as well. So please mark your calendars. This is a really good one coming up. So welcome to First Look. This is an event that we do exclusively for our startups, for our mentors, partners, and investors, so we can get to know the startups that are joining Capital Factory, so we can help make valuable connections. Those connections, hopefully you get to make some of those connections today, but today is really day one. Hopefully we get to make connections for years and years to come. We always like to get to know our startups and where our startups are from, so out of curiosity, anybody here from Dallas today? Awesome, bunch of hands up. Welcome from Dallas, welcome to Austin. Who's here from Houston? Anyone from Houston today? Welcome from Houston. I'll be hanging out with y'all later tonight in Houston. Anybody from, who's here from Austin? All right. Anybody from San Antonio? Nice, welcome San Antonio. Awesome. Anybody from out of state? Awesome, I know the Bolster guys are from out of state as well, welcome. Anybody recently relocate to the United States? I know there's at least one. Welcome. Welcome to the USA. Welcome to Austin. It's really great to have y'all here. Anyone working on their second or third startup? Awesome. Who's already earning over $1 million in revenue? Nice, congratulations. That's really something to celebrate. Who's already raised over $1 million in funding? All right. Well, you can see how diverse the startups are that that we get to work with. Whether you're working on your first one, and this is the first time you're starting a company, or it's the third time you're starting a company, and you're already earning millions and millions of dollars, already raised millions and millions of dollars. There's ways that you can plug into Capital Factory, and we can be a really impactful partner. And we're looking forward to, we're really looking forward to working with y'all. So here's how this is going to go for the rest of the day. We're going to kick off with pitches. You hopefully should be familiar with the pitch order. We're going to kick things off with Bolster here momentarily. I want to point out a couple of things. So please be aware of the pitching order. We're going to use this clicker right here to work through the slides. See this big one right here in the middle, so you can see it. That's going to advance you to the next slide. That little button on the bottom is going to take you back in the event you need to go back. And Sam Zog back here with her hand up. She's going to give you a 1-minute warning. We'll try to keep the pitches, pretty tight, pretty short. There's no Q&A. That helps us get through the run of show and get onto some valuable connections that will happen immediately after the pitches. We won't introduce the next founder, so just please be aware of where you are in the order and the lineup, and be ready to come up and grab the mic and grab the clicker, and we'll get started immediately. All right, now for our favorite part. Let's get this party started. I'm really excited to welcome up Bolster.
All right. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here in the great state of Texas. My name is Matt Blumberg. I am founder, one of 8 founders of Bolster and CEO of Bolster. And this is a really, really special day for me to be here at Capital Factory. My last company was warehoused, had its first Austin office upstairs. Josh and I just decided it was 10 years ago. So anyway, it's great to be here. Bolster, what are we? We are an executive talent marketplace that connects startup and scale-up CEOs with experienced C-level talent for on-demand, board, full-time roles. Let me unpack that a little bit. So, we are the new way to hire, for example, an experienced executive to do part-time work or project-based work. We're the new way to hire a functional mentor for anyone on your team. If your most senior product person is a product manager and you want a chief product officer to mentor that person, come to Bolster. If you want a coach, we have about 500 coaches in our marketplace that are CEO coaches. You're the new way to hire board members. Your first independent board member, you would come to Bolster. And we're the new way to hire full-time leaders as well. So marketplace for executive talent to connect all y'all, if I could do a little Texas there, with a tremendous, tremendous group of full-time senior executives. And we do it at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time that it would normally take you using normal recruiting methods. So we have a bunch of different models. We are free to look, free to create an account. We have a self-serve model. We have an assisted model where we'll help you a little bit. We do dedicated sourcing. If you can't find what you want with us, we will go out and find the talent that you need. We like to describe ourselves as a lightly coached model. So our founding team are experts in this. We've been doing this for 20 plus years, and we're happy to help you figure out what you need, which is frequently the issue with startups. And like I said, it's free to search. So real quickly, we are here, again, to help you build a great leadership team and a great board. There are 3 things that you get with Bolster. The marketplace is what I've talked about, so finding executive level talent. We have a program called Bolster Prime, which is a long-term subscription program for mentorship. So it builds on what you'll get with Capital Factory, the same types of mentors that you can get through Capital Factory, but you get them in a much more concentrated, dedicated, long-term way. And we also have a venture arm called Bolster Ventures, which co-invests. We don't do any lead investment, but we co-invest in a lot of our early stage clients. So we are, as I like to say, by founders for founders. And over the years, our team has written a couple of books. If you sign up for a client account at bolster.com, we will send you any or all of these 3, Startup CEO, Startup CXO, and Startup Boards. And I'm Matt at bolster.com. I'm super easy to find, and we would love to work with any or all of you.
Hey everybody, I'm also Matt, so that keeps things nice and simple. So I'm Matt, I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Array. And Array is like Google Forms, but on steroids. We're a workflow and automation platform for the enterprise market. That's what Array does. And so if you imagine all the types of things organizations have to do, the pieces that we operate best in are in the data collection, the organization of data, and the automation of data. That's where we kind of thrive within organizations and inside enterprises. So, what's the problem that we actually solve that exists? You know, there's a lot of people who try and solve problems within data, but what is the problem that Array is solving? So we're trying to remove those legacy tools. We're trying to stop people using PDFs as data collection, because they friggin' suck, and using Excel for data collection, and we're trying to help them gain insight behind these things. They're not getting insight from this data, and a lot of it isn't secure or isn't stable. And then the other thing is, when people are doing these types of things in Excel or in PDFs, there's a real lack of accountability and monitoring how people are doing these things. So some of our missions here at Array is that we want to try and get people actual promotions in organizations. We've done that time and time again. That's actually a metric we track, is when people implement Array, can we try and get them a promotion for really creating positive change within the organization? We want everybody to be able to use Array. It's no code, which means drag and drop. You hear these terms like citizen coder, or we've called them blue collar coders in the past, because we tend to work with those operation and risk roles, but there's no code. We don't want to make things more complicated for people, and we want to build the security into the product. And the other thing is, that little term down there, think big and start small. The reason we say that is because a lot of people have all these crazy cool ideas they want to bite off, but luckily with Array, you can start small and you can scale significantly with us. And so we want to make heroes of those people in the operational roles and get them those promotions, because you know what? With Array, it lands and expands through organizations once it's adopted correctly. So I'm going to quickly run through the solution to fix the problem, which is Array. So Array is made up of these 5 components: the form technology, but it's enterprise forms, it's operations, risk. So I'm talking about taking signatures, taking videos, pictures, mathematical equations. We also have a document creator, because often the organizations and the kind of industries you work in, like insurance and risk and compliance, they often need a document output. So we have a document builder, we have reports, analytics, workflow, and task management as well. And then all of this is security out of the box. So we're GDPR compliant, ISO compliant. We're just doing our HIPAA compliance now as well. And so, like I said, all of it's drag and drop, and we want to promote that sort of citizen coder within an organization. Then needs to be data and insight. People need to get into it and be able to use it, so all of that is accessible to the right people at the right time. So when you actually look at Array and you look at those 5 components, that's all the tools you're going to need to try and sort of do what Array does. And what we're finding with the enterprise clients is we're often displacing things like Power Apps, Microsoft Power Apps, if anyone's heard of that, or the Power Platform. Those things are great, but they're all code-based, so you still have to be a coder. So when we're moving into these enterprise markets, we're finding this no-code approach is really, really appealing. There's been some big slip-ups actually within the enterprise market and data getting out, just because these tools, like Power Apps, have been hard to use and mistakes have been made. And we're finding the IT departments don't want to touch those things now, and we're not made for the IT departments. We get approved by them, but we're for the operations team to use, because they're the ones that know what they want to create. We just want to give them the tools to do it. They've had Microsoft Word and Excel for a number of years now, but now we want to give them an actual tool to build their own internal apps. And so Array has, everything you build in Array works in the web, and it works in iOS and Android and the Zebra devices as well. And they all work offline, because we work with companies in very, very remote locations. Right now, Array's been very heavily used in Florida to record all the storm damage that's happening. And what happens is the companies use it to build an app in Array, and then use that to collect data offline, create documents, and send that directly to the underwriters. It's taking their claims down from 30 days to 24 hours. I just thought it was a cool GIF. But anyways, that's the feeling you get when you remove legacy tools and Excel sheets and things like that. Clicking, but nothing's happening, so I might have to do the rest on my own. Yeah. So what was going to be next, if I remember rightly, is so one of our enterprise clients, one of our biggest enterprise clients is Massmart and Walmart in South Africa, and we do a lot of stuff. Jump on time. Yeah. Never mind. So we worked with those guys, and we went through the big global security with Walmart as well. So we got penetration tested for 2 weeks straight with those guys. It's been a massive undertaking. And off the back of that, we've been working with the Walton Family Foundation and working with people like Tyson Food Groups, Unilever, and helping these big enterprises really get massive traction. One of the other slides was to talk about our traction and our pricing model. So we try and land expand. So we start with free, so someone can get an idea of what we do, and it scales up just at $40 a user. It can get really big. And what we try and do is land and expand. So we make those people heroes in the organization, and it just catches. We've got a big upgrade going through with Walmart right now, and a few other insurance companies we're working with. But with Array, in the last 2 years, we've done over 600 million answers in Array. So it's really made for enterprise scale, enterprise collection, and app building. So that's my time, I believe, and I'm glad you've enjoyed my full presentation to its fullest. I had some more gifts that we're missing out on. I had a good one from The Hangover that I was really looking forward to, but you know, we can always talk after this. I'd love to talk to you more if you'd like to learn more about Array. We just did a pre-seed a year and a half ago. We're going to be moving into our seed round next year. So thank you very much for your time.
Hey, who was on the stage with you last time?
Oh, just me and Richard Branson, just
yeah,
a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Hello everyone, I'm Uzi Ibrahim. I am not Damon Henry, unfortunately I'm filling in. I'm the DoD director for our team at Acelon Robotics. So Acelon Robotics, our intent is to help our commercial clients as well as our DoD clients to manage and protect their people, profits, and assets. We really see ourselves in the future vision to be an analytics platform from the bay doors out. So QuadCharts, DoD type company here. So the intent we really wanted to show here is that the way that we're attacking the market is we are really enabling robotics. I think when we started the market, everyone had the promise of robotics. I have a UAV system, I have this, awesome quadruped, but then I have a remote control and I have to be 10 feet behind it, or I have to be here swapping out the batteries. You end up having to allocate more people. So our intent was to focus on the infrastructure to enable and really operationalize robotic systems for the security mission. So the target markets we're really attacking is the manned guarding sector, as well as the perimeter security sector for advanced security systems, which has a TAM of about $20 billion. Very complementary to what we're doing in the defense sector, which is 100% focused on protecting America's high-value assets and doing base security. So track record-wise, we've done over 30,000 UAS, automated UAS missions in the United States, and we have received multiple what we call Tier 1 or advanced first-of-their-kind BV loss waivers with the FAA. What you see there is our innovator pipeline in terms of the customers who we're scaling out with as well. So this is where the magic happens. This is the Drone Core platform. We have our software brain, which is really our software open architecture, able to ingest security sensors that are on site, able to create automatic response missions. Automatic response missions, as well as pre-programmed routine security missions. A little bit of deterrence, a little bit of surveillance. And what you're seeing there is the infrastructure focus, right? What happens when an autonomous robot runs out of batteries? Is it still autonomous? Well, we are solving for the infrastructure aspect by having a remote repowered doghouse or having something like the Drone Home, which is a battery swap terminal. So how have we found product market fit? We're set up to do robotics as a service, right? We started out with just the box, and then after a couple of iterations of customer feedback, we've really evolved that product to have a managed service. What tends to happen is you hand over new technology to a customer, and the customer experience suffers. So how we've really positioned ourselves is we've taken what is normally a cost center, which is the security function at any kind of commercial or company, and turn that into a net positive or net neutral from a cost perspective. Sometimes net positive when it comes to labor, and then we're slowly adding other functions to that camera platform that we have. So as far as the market goes, what we're focused on is we're continuing to add blue chip customers today, but the real story behind this is the customers that we do have are starting to scale. And the customers that scale have, as I mentioned before, that marginal return where we can add on additional analytics platforms to the infrastructure we've already built up. And some of the tailwinds that I mentioned before, GXO Logistics, one of our largest customers, went public with our kind of innovator platform. We've scaled out to over 20 sites across that portfolio of customer. We've also, again, achieved multiple beyond visual line of sight waivers with the FAA. And for those who are into the defense and dual use space, We have submitted a strat fight with the Air Force and focused on helping our client, the Global Strike Command, protect their strategic assets. Last but not least, we are continuing to add a number of different deployments to our portfolio, from theme parks to schools to school safety. So we're attacking a bunch of different markets and identifying people who can take advantage of our architecture. If you'd like to connect with us, this is our CEO's email, Damon Henry. We are, I believe, moving from Series A to Series B, so we're in the process of starting that. So reach out to Damon or reach out to me if you have any questions after this.
It's actually FitLift next, sorry. Oh, perfect, okay, sorry.
Pretty sure.
Hey. Hi. We all know somebody that takes their training seriously. They're regular at the gym. Sometimes they push themselves too hard, and then at the end of the day, they have to leave injured. Everyone in this room has either been that person or knows that person, and we're here to solve that. No matter where you are in your athletic journey, there's a common goal. You want to get stronger without getting hurt in the process. This is true for kids building their foundation, athletes at the peak of their performance, or regular people like you and me that just want to live an active lifestyle. And the inability to know whether or not you're lifting the right weight or doing it in proper technique is what leads to 12 million sports injuries every year. This has exposed a big market opportunity. With our current offering, it's about $12 billion in size, and we can more than double that as we expand to the Android market. But today, with our traction and the way things are going, we can realistically obtain 165 million of it. So what are people doing to solve this problem? Well, there's a personal trainer, which is too expensive for most people. And even in the collegiate space, it doesn't scale well, as they can only focus on one athlete at a given time. Then there's the mirror. That's what most of us use, which requires us to know what correct technique is if we are pushing ourselves too hard, and that's just proven not effective. So technology has started to enter the space, but hasn't been able to penetrate the market. There's optic solutions that have to stay mounted on a wall, but they can't go with you. The wearable solutions like your Apple Watch, your Fitbit, they don't do any tracking related to weight training. So we thought if we could overcome all these shortcomings, we could make weightlifting fun, safe, and effective. Meet FitLift, the first device to tell you whether or not you're lifting the right weight at the right intensity and much more. For the first time, you're able to look at your lifting technique and tell, hey, what side am I favoring? And ensure that you're not going to lift heavier than you should, leading to that inevitable injury. At only $150 and $20 per month, with an average contract length of about 12 months, we're affordable from your smallest university to your Joe down the street. There's a lot of activity in the fitness space with some big companies building generic platforms for niche offerings like ours, but they don't have the hardware to pull off what we're doing. There's some intensity trackers out there, but they can't sell to consumers, and due to their exorbitant cost, they've only made a few sales in the university space. So we not only offer more value at a lower cost, we're the only technology that'll tell you whether or not you're lifting the right weight. Are you pushing yourself hard enough? And we have a patent to protect us from new companies attempting to enter the space. Because of this, in the last 4 months, we've made great traction with 6 paid trials with major universities and a professional sports team where you monitor all of their athletes' weight training. We've also received $100,000 in accelerator funding, proving somebody else believes in our idea, also joining the great Capital Factory family. Do all this, we have an amazing team, all former athletes that have had our dreams crushed due to lifting with poor technique, and we have the technical know-how now to build the technology to solve that problem. We've done amazing milestones, such as building the product, getting our first professional team, and getting our first customers. We have much more to come. Today, we're looking for lead investors so we can close our seed round. This money is going to go towards accelerating our marketing and better serving our customers. Like I said before, the product's done, it's built, and we have the best of the best trialing it, and they're happy. We're just taking it from the collegiate market over to the consumer for the first time and just dominating that blue ocean. So, who's ready to see 12 million people not get injured? And I'll be available to do live demos anywhere you can find me, and I'll tell you how I hurt my arm. Thank you.
Hi, Hi, y'all. I'm Kate Ferguson.
And I'm Lila Sullivan, and we are the co-founders of Flourish Plant. Flourish Plant is a plant care brand for the next generation of house plant parents. Kate and I have been friends for a long time. We grew up together, and we actually became friends competing against each other in science fairs in high school. Kate won all of them, but that really accelerated our love of innovation in the sciences and also our dedication to sharing science with people that we love.
So as Lila and I were amassing our own houseplant collections, we started to notice there was a real gap in the market for plant care products that were meant to serve our generation. Our parents had Miracle-Gro, but what was there that was meeting our needs as a consumer? We were looking into, we were purchasing products online on the Sill and just didn't feel like there were products and content that were meant to serve us.
So we created Flourish Plant. Flourish Plant launched just 8 months ago with our first product, Flourish Plant Food, an organic, all-purpose houseplant fertilizer built for people in small spaces. It comes in a 2-ounce dropper bottle, and it's as easy to use as it is beautiful. It's also completely non-toxic, certified organic, safe to be around your kids, your pets. It's pleasantly fragranced, and it's also highly effective in helping your plants grow.
We also wanted to build out content that existed where a consumer was. So on our own channels, as well as our website, we have a robust blog, as well as our plant care guide, where you can really be your one-stop resource. So looking at the opportunity here, we know that $50 billion is spent annually in the garden market. And addressing that both on the D2C and wholesale side is Flourish. 40% of garden purchases are moving online, and that's expected to grow 6 to 10% year over year.
That's why we lean really heavily into a subscription model. Our $30 kit is our intro purchase, and then people get the $20 refill as much as monthly to make sure that their plants are growing. We also are addressing a market of 22,500 independent gardeners nationwide. If we can capture just 1% of those retailers and sell them $5,000 of Flourish products a year, we'll have $1 million business.
Our traction thus far since launching in March has been $25,000 in year-to-date revenue. We've launched in 20 retailers in just 2 months, and we're onboarding new retailers weekly. We're also, Lila and I have also been quoted as experts in the plant care community across many of the major publications that you know.
As everybody wants to know in CPG, we have great margins on our product. Our margins range from 65 to 85% on our direct-to-consumer product, which leaves us lots of space for getting into wholesale. We also overcame really significant regulatory hurdles, which is why there are really high barriers to entry in this space. Fertilizer, a lot of people don't mess with because of the way that it's regulated across each individual state.
We've also received our organic certification with the state of California, which enables us to be certified organic across the country. So looking at what our growth strategy is, full market saturation, of course. We really want to grow our e-commerce side, continue to lean into our recurring revenue streams via subscription, as well as expand our customer acquisition.
We'll be in 2 major retailers in the next year, in conversations with Urban Outfitters and Whole Foods, and looking to get into a Target in the next 2 years.
Additional growth for our business really looks like acquiring new customers, but also launching more products so that we're able to increase our average order values and offer a greater suite of products to our retailers.
When you see a flourishing plant in the future, you will know that that person used Flourish products and went onto our website. We are going to be the next generation's Miracle-Gro.
We've raised $200,000 in friends and family funding to date. We are looking to raise an additional $1 million in order to really accelerate the growth of Flourish.
We have free samples for y'all in the back so that your plants can flourish. Please take before and after photos and send them to us. We can't wait to see you all flourish. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is Melinda Garvey and I'm the founder of On the Dot. On the Dot is a B2B SaaS virtual community platform. We help organizations build robust virtual communities, much like Capital Factory is doing here today. So we all know that we live in a remote-first world, whether we like it or not. And even a couple of years ago, many organizations wouldn't have thought to do something like a virtual support group or a virtual event. But now, not only is that expected within communities and wanted, that there's a virtual component, but that remote first is where we are in order to collaborate. On the Dot is an all-in-one, seamless tool. We can easily help organizations scale and deliver value to their members. We can engage them on a deeply personal level that best recreates an in-person experience. And we all know it's really hard to do that, and we're never going to be able to fully recreate that experience being in person. But there are definitely tools of engagement to use within these virtual communities that will help drive that and make these communities really robust and easy to scale. So why now? Well, of course, we've talked about being a virtual first world. There's a $30 billion TAM by 2026, and many think that it's growing at a much, much faster rate because now all organizations are really looking at these models. We have a SaaS model that creates a flywheel for recurring revenue. And we also give organizations the ability to scale their community beyond their geographic locations. So some stats for us: total sales in 21 and 22, 210,000 with an MRR of 8,000, 13 customers with a lifetime value of about 50,000. In terms of traction, we are projected to close 5 to 6 deals coming up in fourth quarter. We have a sales pipeline of 81 current opportunities. These are people that we have done demos with, we are in talks with, and taking the next step, which equates to about $800,000 in potential revenue. Of course, we just recently became a portfolio company of the prestigious Capital Factory, which we are thrilled about. And we've also been invited to join the Blackbaud Accelerator program, which starts in January of this year. And they specifically tapped us for our community platform because they're talking to their 40,000 customer base of nonprofits and realizing that there's a huge need in the market. The competition out there, a lot of tools that are very narrow and fragmented, which leads to fragmented communication. And On the Dot aims to bring all of those tools and that communication together under one seamless tool. So I have been building communities for the last 20 years. I'm the founder of Austin Woman Magazine. So I know how incredibly powerful it can be to make that right connection, to be introduced to somebody, that next move in your career. And that's what we are building with On the Dot, based on that experience. We are a team of market leaders who are focused on impact and solutions, not just building software. Don't get me wrong, we love our dev team, they're wonderful, but they are being driven by leaders who are really looking at these solutions, talking to these companies, and looking for those best practices for community engagement. We currently have an investment opportunity, a $1 million convertible note. We have 200,000 closed so far. We're using that to expand our team to meet our $1 million sales goal by 2024 and to execute our 3-year product roadmap to be the best in class in community software, and also to expand and focus on our mobile-first development. Thank you very much. Great being with you here today, and I look forward to meeting all of you.
Hello. Hello. We are Orchestra Health, and we are reimagining care coordination. So my name is Austin. I am an experienced engineer with extensive knowledge of how to build on top of legacy infrastructure and build modern infrastructure on top of it. My co-founder, Stu, who is putting out a fire right now, is a board-certified anesthesiologist with a proven track record of lowering cancellation rates and providing a better experience to the patient. So we're the exact people you want doing something like this and improving care coordination. Because surgery, if we're totally honest, is scary. It's complicated, and when things don't go well, patients are harmed. And unfortunately, this happens all the time. 1 in 5 surgeries are canceled due to coordination issues. And the problem is getting worse because outpatient surgeries, where this is most common, has doubled over the last 10 years and will continue to double again over the next 10 years. To solve this, Orchestra is building the operating system for care coordination, working to transition patients from one point of care to the other. This includes clinical services like pre-op and post-op exams, but also non-clinical services like document management and prior authorizations. We start with the physician and their providers. We currently do pre-op and post-op exams, which is mainly a clinical service, through telehealth, in order to prep the patient for surgery and make sure that it goes according to plan. We then use that physician as a champion to sell us into the facility, which allows us to then make deeper integrations with that facility. We target facilities in networks, so we can then use that again and have the facility champion us to their provider network and distribute us across the network, accelerating growth. Automating this clinical service then is our wedge to upselling the platform to facilities over time, which then makes the clinical service even more valuable. We're starting today with a medical service that is delivered via telehealth, which was not possible 2 years ago as a lot of the telehealth regulations have changed. That allows us then to move into facility SaaS, where we're able to expand those margins and also improve the clinical service. And that allows us to then make that platform to move into new verticals outside of surgery. We did a pilot earlier this year with 2 surgeons who have not only continued to send us customers past the pilot, but have also started telling their friends about this great new service called Orchestra. And so we're here looking for partners, customers, and raising our seed round in order to accelerate growth over the next 24 months. We want to spend the next 12 months really building the product and understanding facility SaaS much better and how we can use it to augment our clinical services. And then we want to use the next 12 months to make that process much more repeatable and much more distributable. Orchestra connects the pieces to ensure that patients receive high quality, coordinated care in a consistent fashion. Thank you.
Hello. In 2016, 2 of my partners started a packaging company in Dallas-Fort Worth area. And very early during the pandemic, they had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to grow their business 500% in a single year. But just like any company trying to grow at that scale, everything started to break. Their production planning started to break, their procurement planning broke, their cash flows broke, and they nearly went broke. And when I joined them as an investor, there were 2 things that were really holding them from scaling at that pace. Number 1 is the disparate systems that they were using across finance, operations, and sales were making it really hard to get actionable intelligence in real time. Number 2, the data quality really depended on who was entering the data. The people had to really go out of their way and manually log into computers to enter the data based on which all these intelligence decisions have to be made. And the problem is not unique to us. As reshoring is taking off, and even retailers like Walmart are trying to add 200 SMB small and mid-sized companies below $100 million to their supply chain, a lot of these companies are not ready to scale at that level, because when a Walmart touches you, you're either going to skyrocket or you're going to just crash and burn. So one of the big things that is really keeping these small sub-$100 million companies to adopt this technology is ERP. Everybody knows ERP is the solution, and there's a lot of solutions around it. But the cost of implementation has really kept these companies from adopting the right technology. So what we have done at Power Central is really focus on, again, we are investors in food and packaging. We own food and packaging companies. So we come into technology from a very investor's point of view. So what we did is, and the other way we differentiate ourselves across other companies is that we did not try to reinvent the wheel and say, oh, here's a food ERP and write it from scratch. We took the best-in-class technologies, like for example, Microsoft Dynamics Business Central from Microsoft, that integrates sales, operations, and finance in a single system, and customize the heck out of that for food and packaging companies so that these companies don't have to spend another $1 million. Number 2, we built very easy to use mobile apps, almost 15 of them, that we can go and actually just deploy them in the customer site, and nobody on the factory floor ever touches a computer to enter the data. And because we are helping these warehouse workers to enter data accurately into the system, we are able to give actionable intelligence in real time using business intelligence and AI. And because we are very, very narrowly focused on food and packaging and regulated industries, we are able to
productize this and deploy this solution in less than 8 weeks in under $50 to $100,000 in a company about $10 to $100 million in range. Not only that, we believe that this reshoring is also needs to be supported by talent in the US soil. So we work with the US military to train our supply chain engineers from the military and train them as supply chain software engineers. And here's a great example of a Walmart supplier that supply mac and cheese. And when somebody asks me, how do we help a how do we acquire a $100 million customer? My answer is, hey, we acquire a $10 million customer and help them scale to $100 million. And this is a company that's actually going in that direction, and they've seen about 400 to 500% growth in less than 12 months. And the CEO pretty much told me that, hey, we now believe that we have the infrastructure of a $1 billion company right now. So we're gaining traction. We were started as a software company in 2020. We have, many of the customers that we have are primarily in food and packaging. We've raised about $500,000 in capital right now. And what we're looking for Capital Factory, like for example, that one company that I said, Enterprise CP, we were able to deploy into their company in $100,000, less than $100,000, and our annual recurring revenue went up from about $10,000 to almost $50,000 because they are scaling that fast, and our revenue is increasing as they're expanding, they're adding more machines and more people. But one of the biggest problems that we have is that our customer acquisition cost and the time is still very, very high. And this is my second company in the Capital Factory ecosystem. Our first company was Duke AI, and when we came here for Capital Factory for help, we got it. So here's my second company. I had this problem, so I spoke to Matt, and he was like, "Hey, man, we're looking for this. We can really help you out." So what we're really looking for is how do we get into this Walmart ecosystem instead of us, tackling one customer at a time, because these customers have so many options out there. They're getting analysis paralysis right now. So what we're trying to do is to connect with the right investors that either own food packaging companies or have very good connections into these Walmarts or Procter & Gamble's of the world, and find mentorship and the right investors to work with us. Thank you. My name is Vish, and I'm the president and co-founder of PowerCentral.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andy Chambers, no relation to Brian that I know of. I'm going to explore that. Equipment rentals are everywhere. It's already a $60 billion market in the United States, but it's still the niche type of transaction that most e-commerce platforms simply can't handle. Why? Because it's hard. Equipment rentals depend on product availability. There is a proximity component. Pricing changes based on the duration of the rental, as well as other factors like distance, delivery distance, that sort of thing. So that's why most e-commerce platforms like Shopify, like Cart.com, BigCommerce, and others simply can't manage the transaction. There we go. So rentals are hard for the reasons I explained. RentMy makes it easier. So as a SaaS platform, we provide rental equipment businesses with the opportunity to merchandise their inventory, keep track of it in real time. We provide the complete order management as well as the financial transactions that go along with a rental. You probably didn't know, but most rentals come up with up to 7 financial transactions that take place on a single order. Everything from down payments and deposits, through the rental fees, through after the rental transaction for things like late charges, damage fees, and then the refund of the deposit. For their customers, we provide a service where they can merchandise their inventory. Customers can browse and book inventory in real time. They can pay for it securely. And we provide kind of the peace of mind that goes along with every order, like order confirmations, reminders, automated alerts, and that sort of thing. So after I completed my MBA from SMU, I began my career primarily in Fortune 300 companies, all subscription businesses, primarily around tech and media. My co-founder is a Navy veteran, spent a good chunk of his career under the Arctic Circle in a Navy submarine, but he has experience not only in the military, but also commercial and academic space. So today we serve clients from kind of all different cohorts. Certainly the local rental companies who rent everything from kayaks to costumes, dumpsters to drones, those types of companies use our platform. We're in 5 Division I colleges today. We're managing the outdoor rec program, so students who want to rent backpacks or tents for weekend types of things, and we're growing that market. But we're also gratified that we have startups who are delving into subscription tech using our platform to manage their orders. Year to date, we've done about $4.5 million in gross merchandise value. That's up 250% from last year. And we're projected to finish the year at about $135,000 ARR. Note that all of this growth is bootstrapped. We haven't raised a single penny yet. We're excited to be a part of Capital Factory. There's a couple of things certainly that we want to glean from this relationship. The introductions, right? There are platforms, like I mentioned, that are not doing rentals today. We can help them grow a huge chunk of their business. Payments is an essential part of any rental transaction, so we're looking for providers to help us get a hold of our payments infrastructure and help us make more money off of the transactions that we facilitate, and certainly partnerships for things like fractional insurance or gig delivery that local providers don't offer today. From an investment standpoint, the money that we raise will be spent primarily on business development, integration, certainly with the other platforms, and marketing. So we still have good growth opportunity in the thousands of mom and pop rental companies across the country. Look forward to you getting in touch. Thanks for welcoming us today, and we look forward to talking with you after the show.
Hey guys, my name is Damian Fortune. I'm the CFO and COO of Secured Communications. We're the developers of the most secure collaboration platform available on the market today. We've been evaluating our tech stack for about 6 years now, and we've made it our mission to ensure that every critical message reaches its intended recipients reliably and free from outside surveillance every time. And along the way, we've formed relationships with law enforcement agencies, counterterrorism agencies, intel agencies, and those folks whose communications often hold sway over the safety and the lives of many others have come to rely on us. And I'll give you one quick example. There it was. So on October 1st, 2017, the deadliest mass shooting in the US took place at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Between law enforcement, SWAT, ATF, casino security up and down the strip, all trying to orient themselves and come up with a response plan, land mobile radio or walkie-talkies were overloaded and unresponsive. But in less than an hour, the Las Vegas Metro PD onboarded over 300 responders onto our platform. And that group of folks, in one night, sent 13,000 messages and files in the pursuit and apprehension of the shooter. And we're proud to say that the LVMPD is still a client of ours today. Now, that's an extreme scenario, right? So I know that the most danger that most of us are going to face today is navigating Austin traffic when we get out of here. But that doesn't mean that our messages are any less important, the files that we share are any less important, the privacy and secrecy that we rely on is any less important. Even though we're not on the battlefield, the importance of working together to accomplish a common goal is exactly the same. And so are many of the tools. The problem is, those tools were developed during a time when we were checking into an office every day, when our work machines were nestled behind firewalls and robust admin controls. In today's market, more than any other, we rely on personal devices, home networks, open public Wi-Fi, more than ever. And that failure to evolve at the time has created vulnerable gaps that can be exploited by the bad guys. Even worse though, here on the eve of the quantum computing revolution, even the transmissions that we think of as safe and secure today are being intercepted and warehoused for exploitation in a couple of years when the technology gets far enough along that they can instantly crack the encryption that's used today. The problem with valuable data, I think the secret to the Coke recipe, is that it's valuable for a really long time. So if we wait for regulatory pressure to fight the quantum threat, we'll be acting too late. So what do you do about it? It's pretty simple, really. You make a unified communication platform, you wrap it with bleeding edge encryption technology, you design it so it can advance and evolve to anticipate and meet new threats as the bad guys get better at what they do, and then perhaps most importantly, you prevent random users from barging in to spam and socially engineer your people. And we've done exactly that. So
So after 6 years of partnership with public and private constituents, we launched Mercury Workspace earlier this year. Mercury Workspace has all the features you've come to expect from a collaboration platform, but built from the ground up to focus on compliance and security first. And we took inspiration from all of our major competitors, right? We believe that security can't be intrusive on user workflows. And we know that even under stern mandate, if a product isn't easy to use and familiar, users will skirt the rules and take their communications elsewhere. Ask our investment banking friends who keep getting slapped with fines for sending deal information around on WhatsApp. Just to underscore this one more time, we take the security stuff really seriously. We were the first to market with messaging layer security earlier this year, and we're on track to be the first collaboration platform to offer quantum protection next month. Everyone loves a logo slide, so here's a few of our clients, public and private, that are on the platform today. And I'm happy to say that since launching the Mercury Workspace platform in January, we've added over $2 million of ARR to our sales pipeline. The only thing better than one logo slide, 2 logo slides. Our partner and distribution network also continues to grow, and our major reselling partners are forecasting their first major wins to land later this quarter. Also, thanks Capital Factory. So why are we here? So we spent 6 years developing a best-in-class product and finding a go-to-market strategy that works, and we're ready to lean in. So we're raising $3 to $5 million to add $5 million in ARR next year, and to deepen our technological moat by adding more patents to our portfolio. I hope to tell you more about it soon. Thanks, guys.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ken Moore, and I am CEO of Spark Connected, based in beautiful Dallas, Texas. So at Spark, we believe that wireless power should be ubiquitous across all devices. Now, someone named Nikola Tesla had a great idea, wireless power everywhere. Unfortunately, he was about 125 years too early. Wireless power is predicted to be an $8 billion market this year, and is estimated to be $20 billion in the next 5 years. So 2 things, wireless power is real, and Spark is leading the charge on the forefront of this technology. So I'd like to talk to you about one of our biggest customers, an Austin company, just so happens. So Dell Computer was engaged with a $50 billion semiconductor startup called NXP, based in the Netherlands. And they were working with Dell to design a wireless charging system for laptops. After 2.5 years and no success, Dell approached Spark and said, Spark, do you guys have a better option? Now, we'd already worked on a 65-watt wireless charging system. And so basically within 4 months, we were able to demonstrate this to Dell, successful demonstration. What happened? Dell canceled the NXP program and awarded it to Spark. So now today, Spark is the go-to partner for Dell for wireless charging, multiple programs. And really the issue was the NXP solution didn't meet Dell's requirements. So it was too big, it had too many parts, too many components, it was too costly, and it had a problem with meeting some of the requirements, for example, efficiency. So efficiency in charging means it ran too hot, so you couldn't actually integrate it into a laptop. Not that useful. Spark solution is half the size and meets all the requirements, including the thermals. So Spark was started by a team of seasoned industry experts. We are ex-TI execs who have generated hundreds of millions of dollars for shareholder value. We're also serial entrepreneurs. In 2015, I had a successful exit for a semiconductor startup. We are also recognized by our customers as experts, the experts in our field. And together with our CTO, gentleman sitting right back there in the bleachers, we have one of the top 5 minds in the world in wireless charging. And he has been in charge of our innovation that has so far outpaced our competition. So we are peerless in our field. And when we look at the wireless power market, we see many, many things besides smartphones. Everybody knows you can charge your iPhone on a charger, right? There's many, many other things here. So most of our competitors focus on charging smartphones. It's a great market. There's a lot of them out there. Everybody's got one. but very commoditized market, a lot of cost pressure, very competitive, big competitors, right? We formed Spark to solve the more difficult problems in charging. So whether it's smart home, robots, drones, light electric vehicles, none of these things can be charged with a smartphone charger. So there's an immense need in the market for this type of technology. And this is where Spark has an unfair advantage. So with the flexibility of our technology, with the presence that we have in the market, with the relationships we have with major customers, and with the breadth of our portfolio, your smartphone charges at 15 watts, maybe. We have solutions from 1 watt to multiple kilowatts. And as you can see there with some of our customers, this has been proven out in the market today. So we have demonstrated this technology. So what is our ask? 2 asks. First of all, we're here to raise some money. So we want to raise a total of $15 million over probably multiple rounds. And we want to use this to grow the enterprise, to expand our business. And we're going to do that through offering ready-to-use modules for our customers, so it's easier to integrate our technology. You don't need to be a Dell to integrate our technology. We're also working with our partners and manufacturers at what they're good at in order to build these modules. And then the second thing, we want to explore the relationship with Capital Factory. So we want to connect with potential partners, customers, and allies. And we believe that working with Capital Factory, we've already built some market presence, but we believe working with you guys will be a compounding factor in getting the Spark name out there. And then we would also appreciate some introduction to some key Texas workforce talent. So thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to working with you in order to compound our effect on the market and power the world wirelessly. Thank you.
Okay, we're almost at the end of the pitches. Hope you're all ready. My name is Manette Yu, and I'm the founder and CEO of Lumi. We're building the future of business gifting. Our vision is to become the HubSpot for mission-driven business gifting, where we help businesses attract and retain both employees and clients by helping them automating personalized, recurring, and mission-driven gifts. So why are we building this? Lumi is really the lifelong culmination of my passion for empowering underrepresented communities and effecting social change through technology. I moved to this country when I was in high school, and I started my first venture. I was desperate for economic mobility. So I created a network of after-school tutoring clubs for new immigrant students like myself. And it became one of our first customers. Because of that, I got into Harvard and became the founding product manager at Klaviyo, which is Boston's largest unicorn tech company. And it was while there that I met the first cohort of direct-to-consumer brands founded by underrepresented founders. They later on became the brand partners of Lumi, and that's how Lumi was born. There are a lot of problems in this current state of $242 billion corporate gifting industry. For HR and sales and marketing teams, along with senior leadership, who want to send thoughtful and personalized gifts to recipients who are distributed not only around the country, but also around the world, there's currently no good solution for that. The workaround is to go with legacy distributors who only source from the most generically made and cheaply made products that often go against their own corporate values and end up alienating their own recipients. And for those who are on the receiving end of the gifts, they never had a say in what they would like to receive. So they end up throwing those gifts away or regift at the very best. What's more, for underrepresented founders who have ethically and sustainably made gifts, they're getting overlooked. So enter Lumi. We drive employee and client retention acquisition by helping them putting thoughtful gifts on autopilot. So for HR, sales, and marketing teams, we provide them with turnkey software tools that they can use to send customer thank you gifts, employee birthday, as well as holiday gifts. For the recipients, now we're doing something a little bit different. We're letting them choose. So the recipients can choose from our individualized curation, and they can choose swap and put in their mailing address. So what it means is no matter where they are in the world, each recipient can get something curated just for them, and everyone gets something different. A lot of the competitors in our market are physical retailers who make gifts or they focus on social impact only. But we're one of the first in our industry to really combine technology with the physical products. So we built a moat on our technology, our ease of use, our proprietary data application, and our unique flywheel and ecosystem. So what have we achieved in the last few months? We have onboarded 15 corporate beta customers, ranging from small startups to pretty big companies. So we have Amazon, we have Silicon Valley Bank, and we even have Meta. We have achieved 30% month-over-month growth, and we have close to 100% recipient engagement rate. So our vision, again, is to become the HubSpot for business gifting, and we want to help millions gift better. So to achieve that, we're using mission-driven gifts as a wedge to sell into enterprises. We're currently focused on tech SMBs, and then we're going to sell up to enterprises and then expand beyond tech to the other verticals. Currently, we're raising a $750K pre-seed round, and we already closed over half of that from value-aligned angels and angel networks. And then we're raising the rest of the tranche in Q4 in order to help us go to market with a fully productized software tools and more brand partners. So I realized I didn't put in the asks for the community, and we're actually looking for more investors, more customers, as well as more brand partners. So if you know somebody or you have your own direct-to-consumer brand, we would like to talk to you and potentially partner with you. And with the holiday rush coming on, we would like to work with each and one of you for your next upcoming client or employee gifts. Last but not least, we're looking for investors to fill out the rest of our pre-seed round. So thank you so much, and I look forward to meeting all of you.
All right. It is my pleasure to be the last one on stage. I'm new in town, new in Capital Factory. Came all the way from Estonia, land of unicorns. Thank you. My darling wife and I, our head of marketing, we are reallocating ourselves here in Austin to bring our company to scale in the great United States of America. Ivy is an AI analytics platform that uses imagery and 3D data to predict the changes in the road infrastructure for safer and more cost-effective road infrastructure management. Around a decade ago, I was working for Google. I was one of the drivers of the great Google Street View, driving around with this cool tech. Wow, I love the tech. I love driving. But damn, the road infrastructure. You know, bump after bump after bump, like that's what's actually happening there. And going to country in Europe or here in the US, it's still the same. In fact, actually the road infrastructure is underfunded, over 50%. No wonder new billions and trillions are put into this sector. With the President Biden's act, $1 trillion new funding is right now going into the United States of America road infrastructure. And yes, it's mainly going to find new innovative technologies that can do better solutions and use this funding more efficient way. There is a lot of data being captured right now in the infrastructure. And this data is being used to make better decisions. But what you didn't know is that 90% of the data interpretation is actually manual workforce. And not only manual, but it's highly educated civil engineering experts that need to do this manual workforce. That's what Ivy is automating. We teach our algorithms to become PhD level civil engineers, to see the same patterns as they see, analyzing the imagery data, 3D data, predicting the infrastructure changes, building up scenarios to make safer roads, what changes needs to be done. We are already present in 6 European countries throughout our network, and now starting our first customer here in Austin. Our main business model is software as a service. So all the data that our customers are collecting will be uploaded to our cloud, and we charge per mile, per object detection. Meaning that none of these customers need to invest in high license fees or buy equipment, but they can just plug into our software platform and start using it from the next day. This year we're going to do around 1 million, a bit over, revenue. And next year we are scaling up to 5 million ARR. We have almost 2 million of this already contracted. Our main direct customers are road consultant inspection companies, but we have few other names like Google. Just last week, I signed a contract for $500,000 deal in Google in Europe, covering 2 countries of Sweden and Poland and extending it to 6 countries in next year. As I'm running out of time, I'm going to jump a bit ahead. Why now? Because of the investments going into road infrastructure are the biggest ever. The problems that the United States is facing, they are putting $1 trillion new funding. That's exactly why I'm relocating right now over to Austin to be part of that innovation. While the robotics and autonomous sector is on the edge of start going to masses, and this kind of digital data will be one enabler. Ivy will be in the center of all this. We are looking for extra investment. We are right now in between our seed extension round. We have 1 million covered of our $2 million round, so there is still room. I'm looking mentors to be helping me to relocating here, hire our first team. If you know any good sales managers, I'm looking to hire any person right now. So come join our journey for mapping the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaspar. No one's ever gotten me as excited about roads as Gaspar these last couple weeks, and congratulations to everybody. Join me in congratulating the founders on some great pitches. All right, and we are going to move into the next segment of our agenda, which is our office hour meetings. All of the companies have been paired up with one of our mentors or investors who've joined us today, and we'll have a quick targeted chat before we break into the happy hour. So I'll be hanging around. A lot of the CF staff will be as well, so feel free to come up and chat with us, introduce yourself. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you I haven't as well. And other than that, we will break into office hours. Thank you.
Thank you.